But again, I don't remember them, so whatever happened that day, all I know is I woke up in the hospital and was told I was in a car accident, and either that was again staged or not. I don't know. I don't know. But again, my mom not only told me I was in a car accident, but she showed me the car. So I would believe it too. So whatever. Now, you never put gas on a charcoal fire. And you always try to start it with either a match or a lighter or something like that. Now, you're probably better to use a match than a lighter because you don't want to get burnt when you light the lighter. I mean, the stuff. The charcoal. Sorry about that. Trying to get past the obstacle there. Now, only the person who wanted me harmed that day, if they're alive or something, would have a problem with me surviving the car accident in the first place. Now, the second time I got into a little bit of trouble was when I was in the military in 1994 after I moved back to the base because of a falling out with my ex-wife. Now, she started the falling out, not me. So I just was trying to move back to base and did. And nothing happened between the time I moved back to base with me and her until I fell. As well. I had no real contact with her except to make sure she was okay once in a while, and that was about it. And now, since she knew where I was at on base, she could, of course, contact me at any time, and I was still available to her. Now, all I remember is the day I fell, got off of work around 4 or 5, not sure the exact time because it's a long time ago, or 4:30, between 4:30 and 5. Now, it was the 15th, so it was payday, so I got out $250 in cash and was going to go to the buffet off of base and see if I could pick up a girl at the buffet. Now again, after that, I went to my room to go get cleaned up and had on my dungarees and no shirt. Again, so I wouldn't be walking in the halls naked. Whoop. But didn't make it down. Well, anyway, as I was getting cleaned up and getting ready to take a shower and all that, I decided to go back to my room real quick. And when I did, the key was missing. So I didn't know what to do. So anyway, after that, I went down to see if there was a key, which only the master at arms or the guy on watch right could have had a key. They couldn't find a key or a master key. Now, what else could a logical thinking person do but that? So again, then I went to either security or a maintenance guy on base, and I got some tools to try and break into the door. that failed. Then finally, I said, well, the only option I have left is to see if I left the window open or something. Wasn't sure if I did or didn't, so I said, well, that's the only option. So I counted the number of rooms from the end of the hallway to my room, as logically as I could. And because I could swing on a bar when I was a child, like a gymnastic, at least one revolution, I was looking for a way onto the roof to lower myself down to the window, which on my right side of the building, if you were facing this way, it would be the left side. I went around to the left side and found a way up to the roof by using a ninjutsu move from a book I had when I was younger. Now, anyone who does such a thing would remember at least up to that part of the story, and I would tell anyone whether I landed the story or not, that story or not. That's all I can tell you. Now, if I'm telling you the exact same story, either way, after the fall, I was injured sometime after I let go of the roof, and that's all I know. And it's now a medical matter with the VA. Period. Asshole. If you attack me. Dumbass. What, myself? Because I was just trying to see if the window was open and may have landed the fall, may have gotten knocked out shortly after I landed the fall, or knocked out if I hit my head against the wall somehow, not thinking that would happen. Only two things, though, after that could have happened within a few minutes of the fall that I don't remember. Like with the car accident. Now, it could be a person on base if I was in the hospital as soon as they turn around to leave. Because you can't leave a sailor who you attack or fell 3 stories either way dead on the floor of a building. Right?
Right.
We all know that, right?
Right.
So, whatever happened after that particular incident, that will be all I could tell either anyone, whether I landed the fall or woke up from the fall as well. And no more, no less. Of course, the people around me would hear it, unless there was some kind of conspiracy involved about it, too. But also, the guy who said he found me after I fell said certain things as well to make it seem like he found me behind the building, not in front of the building, unless that too was a lie from his part to play his role in finding me. That's all I know.
That's fine, you know.
But he did say he found me behind the barracks and I was pointing up consciously to the roof, which means I was recovering from whatever happened after I let go. Now, does that prove it to the person who found me, if he found me that way, or the person who might have attacked me? Either way, no. Why not?
Why not?
Because he would just think it's all elaborate hoax to get him for murder, of course. Now, like I said, I'm sure we had as much of a discussion about this as we could. But of course, he might want to overlap it with the car accident, which is the whole point too.
I know.
Because I didn't know much about the car accident even when I talked to him about it.
I know.
Now, unless this too is fabricated,
Right.
which I can't prove that either, but I do know I blacked out. There's just more theories about it now that I'm looking into what happened too. That's all I can tell the person. And show him what they're showing me. Now, if he still don't want to accept I'm the same person, and still thinks it's to catch him in a murderous act, which would be the result of that attack, attempted murder, he of course would be continuously trying to figure it all out, as am I, and would also continuously attack me on YouTube if I became popular. And in fact, he would start messing with me as soon as I started telling my story on the internet, and he became aware of me constantly searching for my name, which he could only know if I told him not until after I fell. See what I mean there? But if I really fell and was injured in the fall, even the guy who found me wouldn't know my name. Right?
Right.
That's the problem there. Ever since the fall, I've been attacked by someone on YouTube as soon as I got on YouTube using a name Shane One Lucky. Now the thing is, whoever started attacking me attacked my 3-story fall and my schizophrenia and started accusing me that I was had molested my stepdaughter. And as far as I know, if any of that happened, I'd be in jail because me and my ex-wife were fighting anyway. So whatever. On that. If you're fighting with your ex-wife anyway, and you were to do something like that, you wouldn't be talking to anyone 2 weeks later to begin with about it. And only if you started making up hypotheticals to mess with the guy would he even know anything about it, and only if you made up the same hypotheticals, which are based upon your real life anyway, and took it all seriously as this guy here is on YouTube, would I even have a problem. But only if I talked to that person immediately after the fall. Either meaning I landed the fall or was injured after I landed the fall. Now I spell conspiracy not as a paranoid schizophrenic, but as a person that's bipolar with delusionary disorder as well. There we go. Now this is how you start the fire. We didn't start the fire. It was always spreading since the world was turning. And you see now the charcoals are finally lit. Now I'm sure some of the mythology is wrong. I'm sure some of it is probably right. But the point is, whatever is true is true. Whatever is not true is not true. Now, since I got it in a semi-open area, I want to stay away from the smoke as much as possible here too. Now, of course, a little match shouldn't start a big fire, unless started by a big person to begin with. But again, when I was 2 years old, supposedly I somehow lit a match, caught the bed on fire a little bit, and went in there and told my mom. Firefighter instincts, I guess. But anyway, I also in the Navy went to firefighter school for the Navy. But again, when I got to my ship, it seems like my shipmates had already made up their mind they wouldn't work with me, so there wasn't nothing I could do. Which centered around EMFM King's electrocution. Because when he saw me peep around the corner, he must have blamed me. Now it's one thing if Lieutenant Guzman, who he should remember, if he's playing he thought, he's lying. Now I don't know Lieutenant Guzman's first name, but he was on the Saipan until at least 91. Yeah. Or the end of 92. I don't know. Then before our other med crews in 93, he left the ship. Now, again, that's all I know. Now, I cannot prove the king without Lieutenant Guzman that I didn't electrocute him. Because he may have only seen it. But the thing is, I was not even qualified to do anything yet. So how would I even know which breaker to turn on unless the guy hanging the breaker hung the tag first and didn't get King to sign it himself? Well, that's the point I learned about doing the actual red tag. Now, there's a way you're supposed to do it, right?
Right.
First, a person goes up and gets the signature of the commander to let them know in the control room that you're about to perform a work or a job. Now, our job was on the bus. Now, the thing is, the guy who was supposed to get the red tag signature couldn't have even made it down yet to even hang the red tag, because King, as the one doing the work, was supposed to sign it too, right?
Right.
Well, if King didn't sign it before he touched the bus, he electrocuted himself, right?
Right.
Not me, him. He just did so because I poked my head around the corner and touched the bus. Right? Now, we used to go camping with Guy and Debbie Creek sometimes when we were younger. Well, I mean, Guy and Patricia Creek, actually. I was referring to his daughter. And we would go out to a camp in the middle of Georgia, if I remember correctly, sometimes. And sometimes we'd go out camping and did the fire and the campfire songs and stuff like that. And sometimes we'd go fishing, and little Ronnie and Mark would go fishing sometimes at the Uinta River. Now, I wasn't necessarily a good fisher, but I did do it a little bit, so I know how to fish, at least. So I never really caught anything. Maybe once somebody caught a small fish, but, you know, that was in my teens. And I was just constantly working out most of the time, running or walking or outside. Now, sometimes